everybody! How are you today? I'm great. Today we're going to answer your questions for those who have asked. I'm kind of dumb. Anyway, the answers are here, or should I say the questions are here? I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm probably tired. I still kind of gander into questions. I do have answers, don't get me wrong. I'm just kind of stupid sometimes. Like I said, I have them here, so I will scroll over them. So if I'm looking to the side even more, is because I'm just looking on them on my computer and stuff like that. Secondly, we are going to go back into the normal, schedule and stuff like that, the continuation of the week. I do have some particular things planned that I'm trying that are different, and I want to thank every single one of you stupid people that were already almost in 1,050. And it's been around like a week or two ago that we actually reached 1,000, which is insane. Yeah. As always, if you want to join Discord, links will be in the description, Twitter, Facebook, the usual stuff. And there's also a community tab, which is leading us for the first question from our friend, Third World Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is, when YouTube will give us access to the community tab. They did. I have that. So if you guys want to check that out, I already post 2 to 3 things in there. Nothing too crazy, but I'm probably going to start doing the thing of supporting small YouTubers, just like Oh That's Spicy, because I can do that as well. I mean, he said he got the idea from me, even though I don't think I'm the first one that did that. But now I have the access to do something in a more larger scale, just like he does. So I might do that. But anyway, let us continue. Which, speaking of All That Spicy, his questions were up first in the comments, so let's answer them. So starting things off, he had 3 questions. The first question is, if you could work with YouTuber, who would it be? Any YouTuber. And my answer would be, if we're talking about big YouTuber, I'm probably going to pick up, what is his name again? Oh yeah, Paul from Team APS, because he is the reason that I kind of really even met in big waves the small YouTubing community. So yeah, I kind of want to say kind of in a way also thank you and stuff like that, because let's say his post somewhere around the ever on Twitter kind of led one thing into another and kind of met most of you guys, and that growth I had recently is because of his particular post. So it's the last few months with the people that I know from the YouTubing community kind of been led by that. So yeah, pretty much so. Secondly, if you could meet anybody in real life, who would it be? If I were to pick, I probably will still go in something with YouTube, which is probably going to be somebody like Markiplier, because I like the guy. I like him a lot. I mean, there are a lot of other people that I would like to meet, but he specifically, his energy is actually kind of interesting, so I would love to meet the guy, pretty much so. Third question and the last one. If you didn't have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel, but wanted a YouTube channel, what would you do on it? I have a few answers for that one. First and foremost, if we're still going to go with card games, probably will go with Hearthstone as my secondary option, because I do like to play Hearthstone a lot. I'm not a professional player or anything. Same goes for Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not the best player in the world, but I'm still, enjoy and doing quite well. And I have a lot of things to talk about, and I'm actually planning to do in the future to actually compare Yu-Gi-Oh! To different card games, if you guys are interested. So, yeah, we might actually going to do that. So I do have experience in Hearthstone, so you might want to, if you want to, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that could be cool. Second option for me will be absolutely writing or creating stuff generally. I don't know, I just don't really have the budget for a few things, and nor time or talents to develop, or time to develop those talents as of right now, or just it's feeling a little bit too late. So it's yeah, it's probably going to be either card game, gaming, or just about writing and stuff like that, because I do like writing and creating stuff like that, generally. Which is creating worlds, because I'm a world frick builder. I'm not really care all the time about the details, but for that I have my friends that help me to kind of like carry on the details when I'm writing a story or stuff like that, if I'm writing it with people. And worst case scenario, just my family just giving me like tips to change stuff if I need to. Yeah, I'm not the top writer anyway. Regardless, let's move on to the next bunch of questions. So for the next bunch of questions, we have Team Chaos Stream, which is a friendly YouTuber of mine from the Coalition of Scrubs. So you're more than welcome to check him out. The Coalition Scrubs, all of their links will be in the description. And he asked 3 particular questions. The first question is, what is the most expensive card I own? Now, I'm not really sure about it because I'm not sure about the price of all the cards, but I think Savage is the most important, not important, but like expensive card as I own right now. I think Savage is like around $30 or so. I think, like, I do think I have maybe something more expensive. Actually, no, I have something more expensive. Actually, I remembered. I think it's ulti, draw and lock from one of the OTS. Like, I do have very expensive cards from the ODS, and I think like the one that I do have that is the most expensive, I think, is ulti draw from OTS. I think it's like around $40 to $50 still, which I actually just got lucky opening it. Unless, of course, Invocation Ultimate is a little bit more expensive side. So if that's the case, that's also a card that I opened. So yeah, again, another like ulti that is important from an OTS that I got lucky. So if Ultimate Invocation from OTS, I think 5, I think that was, is around like, I don't remember how much. I think it's probably one of my expensive cards. If there need to be, I will probably put on screen the prices of those cards, just kind of compare, because I think these are the 3 most expensive ones I have, but I think ulti, like I said, Invocation is probably the most expensive one. Secondly, do you like pineapple on your pizza? No. I'm not a savage. No. Not like Savage Dragon. Anyway, I'm not saying that you're a savage if you like those. Anybody who like those kind of things, you're more than welcome to. I just specifically don't like to make sweets with my food, which is like, sour, like not sour, but salty food with sweet kind of doesn't really work so well with my taste buds. So, I specifically don't really like that. But, if you like it, you're more than welcome to. My little sister actually really like those kind of things. She like pineapple on pizza, and like she's 10, so she's probably not very cultured yet, so you could forgive her. But seriously though, if you like pineapple on your pizza, I would not say it's not grossing me out or you're not weird, but it's your taste. I'm not like kind of trying to, like, I will not be offended or like starting a fuss about it. It's what you like to eat. Up to you. I'm not in charge of you like adding into your body garbage. But seriously, like I said, if you want to, that's your choice. Lastly, I think it's the most hilarious question that I've seen out of the 3. He asked, what is your stand in this intense and low debate of Coke and Pepsi? I'm not American, and our like Coke and Pepsi kind of like, I will not say taste the same in my country, in Israel, but like, it's not really the same taste. Like, I tasted, like, when I was in America, like, because they still sell, like, Coke is still kosher, and, like, Pepsi is kosher, so it's fine, because I'm a religious Jew, so I cannot drink everything. But it's like, the taste is, like, it's the same, but a little bit different. I would say I'm morally going into more Coke, because I don't like, I would say sweet that much, but like, I don't really have a particular opinion, because both of those I kind of like to drink with no sugar anyway, like, the zero versions, Pepsi Max and Coke Zero. I like to drink those more, so it's like, I don't really have an opinion on both of them that much, so yeah. Both of them are like, I would say I'm leaning to Coke more because it's less sweet, but like, Pepsi didn't really taste to me ever like kind of bad. I mean, I don't like it as much, but not really that bad either. I know I'm like kind of like being the middle guy, but I just like a lot of things to eat. I don't really being picky most of the time with my food. I mean, there are some particular things I don't like mostly fruits, I guess, and some kind of vegetables, but like not only because I don't like sweet things, I don't like a lot of fruits. And some particular vegetables because either they're bitter or sour, but like mostly most of the things that you're going to give me on the table, unless they're not problematic with my religion, I will eat. So yeah, it's not really a problem for me. Next up is from Casual Kiwi. He asked me also three particular questions. The first one, what's a deck you yet to build but always wanted to? If I'm being honest, there are a few actually. Actually, there are a few, but if I will pick right now from what I'm seeing recently, might actually say Witchcrafter, because right now Witchcrafter actually feels like nice, not like as bad as it used to be. Like I would not say like Infinity Chasers was a good set. It wasn't a good set, but I really like the theme of most of the archetypes there. Infinity Track, I almost like them as an engine, but like Infinity Chasers was really nice. The Evil Eye and the Witchcrafters were really cool themes, but not really that successful. And Witchcrafter is just finally, feels playable with Eternity Code support. So maybe, and with the reprint, maybe I will build them finally. But yeah, it's a deck that I kind of like never got like the time to test that much, and it just, I don't know. It's a deck that always felt to me like, I don't know. I wanted to build it just because I like the style of like the working with spells, and I really like spellcasters. I mean, zombies are my favorite type, but spellcasters is also a type that I like pretty much, and they kind of like connect to the story of Alistair and all that stuff, so that's also kind of fascinated me. So yeah, they're also an interesting, tricky deck to play. So I always want to play like these interesting control decks. They're always kind of fun to try yourself with them. Second question: what is your favorite video game? This is a hard one. This is a hard one, and I have one hand, but on the second one, not really, because I'm not sure if you guys will consider this a good pick. But in terms of if you're talking just story, there is probably a different, better option. But I'm just considering all the factors. StarCraft 2 was one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game for a while. I'm still coming back to it here and there because of the stories are really great. I'm not really going back to the multiplayer anymore because I was like around, I believe, Diamond back in the day. I'm not sure if it was Gold or Diamond or, Platinum. I'm really not sure because it's been such a long time. But it's like, I was really okay back in the day, like pretty okay player. Right now I'm absolutely trash. It's been like 2 or 3 years of like not playing the multiplayer, and in StarCraft, if you don't harness your skills every single day or stuff like that, at least a little bit, you're going to get trashed really, really much pretty soon, because it's really micromanagement and being really, really quick about a lot of things. So it's like, I'm not going to go back to that. It's just going to be very, very hard, so I'm not going to even try. But yeah, I really like the story, except from the epilogue, which was a little bit on the disappointing side. The entire StarCraft saga of like the second game was really good. The mission packs were also really fun, but I'm kind of like disappointed that they're like didn't continue with them. I don't know why, but like they did like one thing of mission packs. They say they will do more, and then they're just retract their step blizzard to just like the what are it called, co-op mode with just adding new commanders, and it's like, what happened to the mission packs? I don't know, it's kind of weird. But regardless, I still think this game is really fun. Lastly, if you want, you could say something to yourself in the past, what would it be? Not in the future, in the past. That's actually kind of a hard one. Not in terms of like being hard as a question, because I do have an answer, but it's more on a personal matter. I might actually going to touch to it in the future if you guys want me to do that. To kind of like open up for like the next milestone once I feel we have enough of a bigger audience, even more. But I would open up with this as like, I lost way too much people in my short amount of life in terms of friends, so without opening it too much, I would say like probably try to, how should I say this, spend with them time more than like spend with them time more, because these are things that like you have limited time with anybody. So like try to spend with anybody time that you can and give them the time that they deserve. And also kind of like, how should I say this? Not trying to end everything on a fight. Like if you can, just try to end those not on a fight. This is something that I'm kind of like regretting, which are some people are like, I just ended with like, not a fight of like, big fight, but it's like, your friends that like you're ending up in a little bit of fight, and then the day after you're kind of like, oh, that's the last thing I said to them, and that just feels really bad. You know what I mean, right? It's I know I'm being a little bit casual about this, but it's like it's been I will not say a long time, but it's like I'm not going to cry about this right now because I already did enough about those particular people. So it's like there's no reason I'm not like feeling really bad right now. Like I do, but not really. So it's okay. It just I would say this: just trying to give people the time that they deserve and try to not end with them in a fight. That's pretty much what that is. I know it's not the best answer in the world, but it's kind of like a little bit harder to me to say that without just opening up an entire wound. So sorry about not satisfying you in the answer 100% Kiwi, if that bothers you, my friend. Yeah, I kind of, a little bit hard to me to answer that one. Second one to the last. No, third one to the last, actually. We have Graceful Charity. I kind of lost my line of thought for a second. Anyway, he asked me 3 questions. One of them is what bad decks or good decks, even if they get hit on the ban list or whatever, what deck I find myself returning it to. No matter how good and bad they are. Vendrids, I think people will consider it a bad deck. So they will say, oh, he's going back to them all the time. So this is his bad deck and answer or whatever. I'm not actually sure this is a good answer because Vendrids are not really that bad. Actually, they're kind of decent. But if I will pick actually from a deck that like is not my signature one, I guess, I probably will go with something like... I really like to go with Cyber Dragon and stuff like that and Monarchs and Dragoonity. These are decks I really like, so, I think they're really cool. Second question. Do you have any instrument that I play on or any talents, cards, art and talents? I did play on a harmonica for a while, and like 4 years ago, I think. And like then stopped because it's like I didn't really get into it, but I did like was okay, I guess. I played like for a year and then stopped because I didn't really connect with it, but it's like it was fun while it lasted. What I do like to do is writing and stuff like that and creating. I do like to create particular worlds, as I mentioned before. So I do like writing or at least like creating worlds for my players right now because I did develop the story that I created as a story in my shelves and stuff like that, more of like a campaign, because it's just will feel a little bit better when after I write it, it'll be a little bit more easier for me to write because I will have more events and then just be able to. I know that doesn't make sense, but on the other hand, it's kind of like also develop my skills in other things. So it's like I really like to writing. I have 1 or 2 books essentially in my shelves or drawers. Unfortunately, they're not finished, or should I say, they're finished, but, they need editing. And secondly, they're not in English, so even if I wanted to, I cannot really share it with you guys, so, sorry about that one. Yeah, I really like writing. It's really fun. I think, writing has a lot of things in it. I kind of stopped for a while, but I'm still finding myself here and there coming back. I do want to come back to it a little bit more, but, time in life, unfortunately, kind of just stop you from doing stuff. And sometimes writing is a problem if you're not in the mood. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. Last question. He asked me what particular deck I would pick whenever format I want to. Don't worry about format, price, or whatever. If, I would pick one, deck that just was hit by a balance and was absolutely strong meta deck, kind of, what would I pick, essentially? Yeah, that's actually a very interesting question. I will not say, I wasn't really around Yu-Gi-Oh! That much, but it's I wasn't with Yu-Gi-Oh! At the start until the start, or I say the middle of the Synchro era, when I was, a little bit more of a child, or, didn't really know the game that much. There was a time that I kind of knew it, but then it's kind of lost interest a little bit, and then came back, in Primal Origin, when I kind of, started learning a few of the mechanics again. So I would say, competitively, or at least, viably being, a good player, I kind of, didn't really become that until, the middle of the Pendulum era again. I don't know, from the experience that I have and from what I've seen, A deck that I would really like to take to a spin in its full power. I think Necros. Necros could be really, really fun. I know it's disgusting a little bit, but Necros full power, I never really got to enjoy it, so it's like, yeah, I think it's a deck that I really want to take for a spin, because Rituals, I'm a sucker for Rituals and Synchros, so that could be really cool. Then we have another one by Silvio Sawatari, which I think is the essential combination with, the Japanese and the English name for the character from Arc V, if you know who that character is. I know specifically, but yeah. So he has particular 3 questions. The first one is pretty much combined both questions. Is the first one, if I do like Yu-Gi-Oh animes, and if I do, what is my favorite character? First and foremost, in Yu-Gi-Oh animes, yes, I did watch of them. The only one I kind of considered I don't really like that much is Zexal. 7s I didn't really watch. Zexal I just really don't enjoy that much. Like, it just feels to me a little bit of annoying in some parts. But it's like, most of the shows were like either okay enough or like really nice. I think 5Ds was the best, at least in my arrogant opinion, but like, it's totally up to you what show you like. I would say like the primary trio, if you choose any of them, is a good choice, which is like, the 3 first series. But anyway, yeah, I do like them quite a bit. If I will pick characters of my favorites, I do have a few actually, which is actually kind of hard. Because I do have a lot of characters that I like. Like, in the original, I really like Kaiba. It's kind of an obvious choice, but I really like Kaiba's development as a character. Is really, really developed nicely. Same as Joey, but, like, Kaiba kind of, like, really went a long way if we're talking about character development. GX, I really like the rival characters, actually, I noticed. I like Chaz as well, really much so. Yeah, I really like Chaz, or should I say Manjomi, if you want to focus on that one. In 3rd series, I like Akiza, I like Jack, Yusei is also really awesome. It's probably my favorite protagonist, is pretty much the most interesting and not boring at the same time. I mean, I know first series is also really good, like, have a good main character, but it's like, I think like Yusei is kind of like more of interesting, at least to me. 4th series, I didn't really like a whole lot of the show. I mean, the only one that I think I found bearable was, what is his name again? The one that used Galaxy? I forgot his name again, actually. I don't know why I forgot his name, but, like, that one. That's, him and Shark were the only 2 bearable characters. 5th season, as much as it ends out in a season like Arc V, I like a lot of the characters there. Kurosaki Shun was great. Sora at the start was great. Akabarenji was great. Sawatori Shingo definitely was great as a comic relief and just as a character. The Yumas, I don't really like them that much, except for maybe Yuri, but yeah. And then for 6th season, I would say, like, the characters there are really good. I really like Revolver. Playmaker actually grows on you the more that you watch. Soulburner is really, really nice as well. And also I was really, really great, even until the final season when he kind of, like, didn't really make sense, which I'm still feeling ashamed that they're kind of ended the show in a fizzle, I would say. Like, they really ended up in a bad way. Like, they kind of, like, ended it really, really early and just weirdly. Like, I liked the show. I really, really think that Vrains was a great show. At the start it wasn't the best, but like it was really great until a certain point, and then it's like, then they're just like the final part was a little bit of problematic. Season 2 was great though, but season 3 was a little bit like start great, but then ended up in like not the best, unfortunately. Finally, we end up with Keith Gum for his question. What is the top 3 sets that I enjoyed, or should I say, like, my top 3 sets in the past 2 years? Am I allowed to do 2 and 4 months? Because if I will have to choose from 2 and 4 months, it will be Extreme Force, Cybernetic Horizon, and Savage Strike, because I'm sucker for synchros and, rituals, and stuff like that. And also, yeah, I really liked Extreme Force. Even though at the start I didn't really like it that much, then it grew up on me. It's a great set. Also forgot to answer, your question, lastly, Silvio Sawatari, because if you don't know the channel that you are on, it's essentially like, keep up, bro, because my favorite deck of all time is Vendreds. So yeah, it's pretty much the answer. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this small kind of a thing. It's took like 20 or so minutes, so it's not really that small, but you know what I mean. This particular thing that I did for the 1000 special, schedules will be normal from tomorrow forward. There will be a few things that I'm planning, like a podcast, I guess, if I'm being honest, that's coming out in a few days. A guest upload, I think, coming up tomorrow. I need to look at my schedule again. But yeah, there are a few things, so be on the lookout. And remember, guys, creativity is the key in this game. As usual, have a good day, guys, and stay safe. And just, really, really stay safe in this particular time. We are getting a little bit of things a little bit more easier, at least for me. The lockdown or quarantine is a little bit better, but people are still doing a little bit of stupid things, so do keep yourself safe, because there's some people who just still think that this is just a joke or something. I don't know why, but yeah, keep yourself safe. Be careful from people who don't, do the things correctly. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.